Welcome to the Heal Podcast. I'm Kelly Noonan-Gores, and every week I speak to the leading doctors, healers, spiritual teachers, and scientists to find out what is truly possible when it comes to healing. I also interview real people with extraordinary healing stories. My philosophy is, what's possible for one is possible for all. On today's episode of the Heal Podcast, I get to sit down with the extraordinary Wim Hof. Also known as the Iceman, Wim is a Dutch motivational speaker and extreme athlete noted for his ability to withstand freezing temperatures. He has set several records related to cold exposure, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in shorts, running a half marathon above the Arctic Circle barefoot, and standing in a container covered with ice cubes for more than 112 minutes, just to name a few. Creating the Wim Hof Method, which is a combination of breathing, cold therapy, and commitment, he believes everyone can tap into their extraordinary potential and ability to heal. As you know from my last episode with Gwen Dittmar, breathwork is one of the most powerful healing modalities I have tried. And trust me, I have tried a lot. The thing I love about Wim's method is it is accessible, and we can do it daily as a preventative practice or for healing. We all have our breath and should have access to a cold shower or cold water. So join me and Wim for this high-octane conversation as we plunge into the depths of the discomfort that can set us free. We talk about how to use our breath, the cold, and our mind to heal chronic illness, ancestral trauma, and more. Our breath is our life force, and combined with cold exposure, we open a portal to our extraordinary potential and greatest healing. Strap in, y'all. Wim is on fire. All right. Well, Wim Hof, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed with your work and you.
No, thank you. Yeah, I'm obsessed with my work as being a mission as well. No, yeah, I am obsessed with bringing health to the world and show that we have a much greater potential awaiting. And that is scientifically endorsed. And it's simply there. And it is about simple techniques that everybody is able to do. So why not?
Exactly. We all have the power of our breath. We have this amazing tool and instrument of our mind that is so deeply connected to our body. And you are living proof of how much potential for healing and just possibility for thriving and enjoying this life as anyone I've ever met. So, yeah. So I love your holy trinity. The three pillars of your method are cold exposure, breath, and mindset. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you came to develop or discover that those were the three keys?
When you are a thinker and philosopher and a debater about what is the deeper truth within us, you become so thinking about things, and then there you are thinking. What is the truth? What is the depth? What is spirituality? What is the heart? What is the soul? Everybody's talking about it, but nobody really knows where it is. And then one day or one morning to another, I just felt attracted to go into icy cold water, which I'd never done before. And it felt so good. It felt so answering my deep debated questions. Instantaneously, I shut down from thinking into deep being aware. And that it didn't miss out. It was there. It was like, without words, this is it. And then I felt so good after doing that day when I was 17, which is 45 years ago, that I went back the other day thinking maybe it doesn't work as good as yesterday, but it did. And since then, I've never skipped a day to go into the cold, because the cold is really the best exercise to go into the cardiovascular system. That means 100,000 kilometers of veins and capillaries and millions of little muscles. Logically, when you activate that, you activate the depth of your body. And then it connects. Suddenly it's alive. And then it connects with our minds, the will. And now we know in science how it works, because I've been showing this in brain scans and blood proof and samples. But back then, it was pure feeling, based on pure feeling. Everybody was telling me I was crazy. But when you love somebody, you fly. If people say, you shouldn't do this, this is not good, they say, get out of my way. I go there where I feel the depth of myself past my thinking, just pure feeling. So that's what happens. When you go into the cold, first thing you do is deep breathing. It automatically shows that deeper breathing changes the biochemistry by which we become stronger. We miss out on that in this society because we live in comfort zone behavior all the time that is de-stimulated. And logically, then the depth of our being is not activated, not stimulated, not alive. It is on the standby. And if that takes longer time, you get chronic diseases and inflammation and depression, all that. Because when you go into the cold, then 250% dopamine extra is being secreted from the glands.
Wow.
540% noradrenaline. And those are the two crucial hormonal lacks within us causing depression. Depression is nothing more than pressure loss. And it goes with the hormones. When the hormones are not active in the body, then the serotonin, dopamines, the uptake to make the pressure, it's not there. So you go into the cold water and you rebalance the pressure, because all the goods come in and the body knows what to do. That's why going into the water, the cold water, every day should be the doctor's advice, pill, medicine, without being a pill and medicine. Has no side effects, but it works instantaneous. And then depression is out of here. That is a simple truth with the cold. And there is so much more. The cardiovascular related diseases, sclerosis, arteriosclerosis, and many heart conditions. If you exercise by going into the cold, cardiovascular related diseases, killer number one in our society is going to be tackled. As simple as it is. Another fact is, when people become older, their genetical functioning becomes less. And what happens? You get deterioration. But let me tell you, we are built like any other mammal. That means we should be able to find food, flee, and fight until the day we die. That is nature, natural. If you go into the cold, then you become natural again. You become alive. You become strong. At 70 years, you should be in your prime. That's the way I see it with cold water. People who go regularly in cold water, older people, do not become sick. Boom. So these stupid governments and healthcare systems, they should take up cold water immersions, because then disease is no longer. Then people get a lot more energy, because the whole vascular system makes the blood running and the heart rate goes down. That means higher blood pressure is out of there. So what are they talking about is this, money. That's the real disease. We want to make the people healthy. Then let me tell you, health, happiness, and strength doesn't cost anything. And it's the most valuable. And it is accessible for everybody in the world through deep breathing caused by going into the cold. You learn to change your biochemistry, your pH levels, instantaneous. So they should promote this through the governments. Rule number 1, breathe well. Take a cold shower. And don't forget, your mind is capacitated by birth, at birth, with the birthright, to be the commander of our brain, which is connected to our body. All the neurology should be in control through the dominion of our will to become happy, strong, and healthy, to fend off at will, just at will, the commander-in-chief of the neurology of the body, to fend off physical stress when it happens. And then we become all very confident spiritual beings, because we don't need anything, because we are happy, which doesn't cost anything. We are healthy and we are strong. That is by the laws of nature. And that's what I believed back then. I didn't know how to find it, because in the books, it was all so esoteric, so far away. And you had to do so much and so much practices. I need one day with a person, and I will transform him to go back to his natural state. That is a state wherein the neurology is within our command, and that neurology is connected with the cardiovascular system, lymphatic system, any system, the nervous system, any system, to be in control. You give people confidence in one day. People who have problems with their heart, and like for 30 years, and have pills and medicines, and they are afraid of cold water, within one day, I make them go 10 minutes into icy water. Of course, every doctor says, oh, this is irresponsible. No, you cannot do this. This is lethal. And all that shit. Those doctors are no doctors. They are no healers. They are drug pushers. So they need to stop pushing drugs in our bodies, because it's intoxicating us. We have a pharmacy inside. So that should be taught in the primary school to begin with. Yes. Then later in life, when they get a job and they lose their job, or they have the divorce, or something happens, they are still in control over their happiness, strength, and health. Mm. They don't get depressed. They are back on their feet so swift, as swift as a rabbit, because we are mammals. Yes. That's the way we are built. And so we forgot about all this, and we think it doesn't exist, but it is there. Through your podcast, Kelly, you will enlighten all the, I don't know, hundreds of thousands or millions of people we're going to reach with this podcast. And let me tell you, viewer, if you see this and hear this, we got the key. We have found the keys to go into the deepest of the brain, into the bone marrow, into the DNA, into changing the blood properties, raising the pH by which your performance levels and activities and your energy is gonna hit the roof to get out and to make connection with the universe itself. Because we are living here, we are living proof of beings of light and love. There is the health and there is the power. And that's what I say to you. You want it? Here it is. Through this podcast, get to know this, adopt the techniques, and there you are. It's up onto you. We give you the keys to get back into yourself, your beautiful self.
Amen, brother. So everybody that's inspired as I am right now, listening to Wim, I mean, I just finished his book. Look at this handsome devil right here.
Thanks, Kelly.
This book
you're kind of sweet yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. So the Wim Hof Method book, it has so many of the scientific research experiments that you've taken part of and then trained other people to take and demonstrate what you've been able to demonstrate. There's so much science that's been published that you share in your book, but you also, just like you just expressed here on the podcast, you're so inspiring. And there's so many, stories of healing in there, people with multiple sclerosis, cancer, arthritis, pain, generational trauma.
Yeah, just a couple of days ago, I had this girl who joined me in a research with paralyzed people, and she had severe MS last year. She's jumping. Last week she came here jumping, running, walking, jumping from a big rock down 4 meters into cold water, going into the cold water, dancing, multiple sclerosis, severe case. Fully gone. What is that? And so that was only last week. And then I was 2 days ago in England, together with Russell Brand, and I get into his theater where he gives a lecture and speech and performance. And I come in and everybody's yelling, Wim Hof, Wim Hof, Wim Hof. Hey, man, people really, they love it. They take it on. And there was one woman in the middle of there. She said, you saved my husband's life who had cancer. Cancer is based in inflammation. It is inflammation. And inflammation we can get down. If there is long-term chronic inflammation present in our system, in our body, then it deregulates the cell division. That's cancer. And it is as simple as it is. It goes through inflammation, deregulation of cell division. Then the body doesn't know what it is doing. The wrong genes open up. Boom. It is all going to grow. And you're going to die, or you need chemo, or you need this. No, you need to bring down inflammation. We have to take this to the primary school, that children are able to bring down inflammation. Inflammation is simple. It is the cause and effect of every disease.
Yes.
And we are able to bring it down. We do these breathing techniques, and within a quarter of an hour, you raise the adrenal axis to reset your body like a computer. When there is a bug inside, you just do CTRL, all delete. And then you reset the computer, and it's all kind of gone back beautiful. You can use it again. It's like your body. By the way, a computer is a copy of who and what we are inside of us neurally. So it all works that way. We work that way. And we are able to push the button to reset by activating the adrenal axis. Goes from the hypothalamus to the pituitary gland, to the adrenal glands. That is the axis. And then the whole body resets. And we doing these breathing exercises, it showed that these people in a comparative brain scan study, they compared it with people who are going into a bungee jump for the first time in fear. Doing these breathing exercises, you raise about twice as much adrenaline, you spike twice as much adrenaline than a person who goes for the first time in fear into a bungee jump. So that means a total reset of body and brain. And then the body is like, it's new again, and you are in the utmost of functionality. That's what you can do with these breathing exercises. It's amazing. And anything that is inflamed in the body will be turned down. That is preventative medicine.
It's preventative.
And besides of that, yes, sorry, Kelly, I'm a cascade of words.
I love it. I love it.
The thing is, when besides of that, your performance levels go up because your alkalinity in the body goes up, and you get really high on your own supply. It's amazing what breathing is able to do. Just do it. Or as I really old English eloquently say it, breathe, motherfucker.
I love it. I was hoping you would say that. It's so true, because I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning. I know it's something that you do often. It's not something that I do often on purpose, but I woke up because I'm leaving on a trip. I wanted to prep this. I have a 2-year-old. I wanted to pack and do all these things. And so after I got my prep done from 4 to 6,
bless you,
I laid on my mat, and I turned on your app, and I did 3 or 4 rounds of breathing, the breath work, which you guided me through. It's so simple, you guys. Then I got in my cold plunge pool, just 39 degrees. I've got up to 1 minute so far. And I mean, I feel like I've gotten a full night's sleep, and it's, it's crazy. I don't think I look exhausted. I feel freaking amazing. So all of these things.
Oh, you look brilliant and radiant.
It's yes. So this stuff works. And I am so convinced after reading your book and also practicing that this is the key. And what we've been trying to say, in Heal, my documentary, I mean, you are the poster child of Heal. You embody and demonstrate possibility and potential, but we all have this power. And just like you said, we're inundated with toxins and stress every day. And so we have these tools, breathwork and cold exposure, and constantly engaging the conscious mind to go deeper and have more control over our bodily systems. And then that creates this reset every day, so we can get rid of the toxins, reset our body, and prevent any disease. Or so it's this reset that gets rid of the inflammation, resets our stress, gets rid of toxins, because we're just increasing our vascular fitness. I mean, it literally is as simple as breathing and cold exposure every day to heal something that we've already gone down the disease path with and reverse, like multiple sclerosis, what you just talked about, and cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, all these other things you talk about in the book, or just prevent and give yourself so much energy and fitness. You say this in the book, it's about overcoming our conditioning and this comfort behaviorism, technology, all these things. We have so much convenience in our life. And so we've become stagnant, sedentary, filling our bodies with non-food like substances. And then, still we're driven to succeed in all this technology. So we're constantly stressed with our deadlines, which, are really dead lines, which is what you say in the book.
Exactly.
It's just that we need to put ourselves under this hormetic stress by exposing ourselves to cold and doing the uncomfortable breathing to get through and move through and just reset our body and tap into these like limitless energy reserves. It's just so simple, but it's so exciting and so much potential.
It is. So another thing is I work with cardiologists, and they have seen something very revolutionary and remarkable, and that is cardiovascular related diseases is killer number one in our society. And we don't know exactly how to exercise the cardiovascular system. Now, if you do this breathing, then you train the cardiovascular system more than somebody who is running.
It's amazing.
You know? So that is, these breathing exercises are stimulating, training, exercising the cardiovascular system all the 100,000 kilometers inside, 70,000 miles inside, to extreme contraction and dilatation, extreme contraction and opening. Not only if you do the breath holds, the retentions, then suddenly, because of so long not needing to breathe, because your pH level goes very much up if you do deep breathing, carbon dioxide goes out, pH goes up. That means at that moment the veins and capillaries and all contract to the extreme. And then you hold your breath after exhalation, and you are able to stay 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes without breathing. What then happens is that 5 times more blood is being flushed into the heart and into the brain. 5 times more. They never had seen that. And then another thing, the cherry on top is that when trauma happens in our lives, it has a cardiovascular imprint equivalent. So that cardiovascular imprint is a cardiovascular imprint. Yes? And that in those moments, you don't know what is happening. The trauma is happening. You are subconsciously there. You are just undergoing it. It's overwhelming and all that. But it has an imprint on our cardiovascular system. And now, through doing these breathing techniques, you exercise the cardiovascular system so deeply in the contraction and opening that you shake off the trauma.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
You see? So we can talk about health, physical, but it's also about releasing emotional old trauma that and make us emotionally healthy. Yes. And that is a blessing.
Totally. I love one of the best stories in the book. You have these retreats in Poland, and you're talking about our emotions are trapped in our DNA, and how, the native cultures, indigenous cultures always talked about, healing generationally. So 7 generations before us to 7 generations after us. And now you're kind of proving in science that you can literally heal or change the DNA that's passed down to us. And in that DNA is a lot of emotional trauma or generational trauma. And so I love the story, if you could tell it, of Michel, how he, in the elements, they whipped out this just repressed emotion that he was carrying. And because I feel like so many listeners are wondering how to get this trauma out of their body, whether it's theirs or something from their ancestors.
Exactly. So it is very mystical. What happens with us, with our ancestors, with our hereditary past in our genes, and we don't know, we mostly have not the time, not the knowledge to get into that. But it plays a part within our lives, and we don't know. Now we have found a way not only to go into the deepest of the brain, but into the deepest of the cell, even past time. What is time? Is an organic being. Anything that is related to time is what we do, and it is a neurology. But we can be trapped into that neurology. And that neurology now, we have found a way past that neurology that goes past time. Past the time concept, that neurology. And that now is able to go into the past, into the hereditary past, our ancestral encrypted genetical codes. And you know what happens then? You not only release the trauma which is related to those blocked up genes from the past with the proteins, and normally they were understood to be permanently there. You can't do anything about it. But now we found a way how to relieve these proteins from the genes, and thus it becomes liberated. And then what happens is that your ancestors, who are spirits, are released as well. Can you understand the spiritual beauty and power? And now you can see it in the DNA, in the genes. You can simply see it. So, guys, anybody who is listening, give your ancestors who are trapped, the spirits of the past who are trapped, give them a break. Let them go free. You are the one in life. Care for them. Think of them. Make neurological signaling which goes into the DNA, and be the light, because you are in the light. We are light. Once we serve, instead of, oh, I'm a yogi and I'm so healthy and I can do this and that, I say, fuck enlightenment, self-enlightenment. It's indulgent. That's ego indulgent. Take care of your family. Take care of your ancestry. Take care of the people around you. Be in love, because that is the greatest power. There is really no greater power than love. And now we understand why. Because it is able to bloom all past our conditioning, to have a neurology which is able to understand even the subconscious and even the hereditary past. But it is also laying the foundation for a great, great future for our children. Let's serve with love our past, our present, to go shot into the future with great beauty like every flower does.
That's right. And you talk about it's our true nature. And as you went into the cold water at 17 and kept getting called back to the water, and you even taught tree climbing birthday parties to kids, which you notice when you brought the kids up in the trees and they were just touching their bare hands and feet to the trees and that connection, they went back down and they were opening gifts or with their cake and they were still, their minds were still, because you saw that connection with nature. So it's really like this method that you've created and tapping into our inherent nature, our inherent healing ability through our breath, through that mechanism, taking the harnesses of the mind and then connecting with nature through the cold water, through each other. It's coming back to nature. It's coming back to connection. It's, I love when you say there's no ego, which is the problem of the world right now, right? It's we're breaking down. We are self-centered. We are separate. We are shitting on the earth, we're shitting on each other. And so this is all, when you practice this ultimate act of self-love by breathing and resetting your body every day and, tapping into this innate health and vitality that we have, then you show up in the world in such a different way that you just naturally connect with compassion with other people and the earth. It's like, I'm like so convinced that this is the key.
Yes. Yeah, it is the key. And we are handing it over through our work. And let me tell you, Kelly, within 1 year and 9 months, I will reach billions of people. And with that, we will give them the key to autonomy. To autonomy, we just show that we are capacitated to be in control of over our happiness, strength, and health, and pass it on to those who need it. And with that, we establish love, power, no nonsense, beyond any speculation, scientifically endorsed, we pass it on. And when that happens, then people feel we don't need anymore all these things who are so superfluous, the buying, the selling, the exploiting, the abusing, the power grieving. Because a happy man doesn't go to war, and a happy man is not into more possession, and careers and being better than somebody else, because he is the best of himself and he knows it. Now we have the scientific devices to show it to the level of the DNA. So we will make shut up the doubt and bring people back to sense called love. That's what we do together.
I love it. Yes. And just coming back to this, I just want people to kind of really think about this. We have been conditioned into this comfort behaviorism. And so advertising, the social media dilemma, the social dilemma, pharmaceutical companies, again, we're not anti-medicine. There are times, acute times where we may need medicine to help in an acute illness situation, but for chronic illnesses, for disease that we're talking about here, pills don't cure, pills don't heal, they treat a symptom. And pharmaceutical commercials and all, they're conditioning us to believe that there's an easy, convenient, comfortable decision. We don't have to change anything about our lives. We just pop a pill and it makes our little symptom go away, and then starts a cascade of other negative effects. When we have this tool, our breath and nature and cold exposure, that we can completely transform our lives and our health, and we're given it free. And so just for us to wake up from this hypnosis of comfort, being sold comfort at every corner, it's like, no, actually just every little practice a day, getting through this momentary period of discomfort creates this resilience, vascular fitness, and incredible vitality, so that, like you said, we don't need to search outside of ourselves for validation or comfort or happiness, because we just generate it from inside.
Exactly. Hormetic exercise will be able to go past our conditioned mind, by which we access new blood flow in the rest of the brain, and the neural activity will be enhanced then, and our will then is suddenly able to connect with that. And that is connected with the full of our body, to the toes, to anything in our body, the neurology of our brain. But now we have found how to go past our conditioned mind. For that, we use hormetic exercise. And those hormetic exercise, that is self-inflicted, acute, stressful exercise, just to go past into the depth of our physiology, which has a great adaptive power to deal with any kind of stress. It doesn't matter what kind of stress, it is all in the end biochemical stress, cell biochemical stress, and that we are built to be able to fend it off at will. So the hormetic exercising makes you able to just go past your conditioned neural pathway conditioning, and you enter then into the rest of your brain. And that is amazing, simple and powerful, and beyond any speculation found discovery. And that is for everybody to feel, because feeling is the understanding. So just do it once. And if you don't feel it, stop it. But I'm sure that every person listening to this, taking this on, will feel his deeper potential. If he only does these techniques, just do it once, and you're sold. This is getting high on your own supply.
Yes, and trust me, it does. It because I did it once this morning. I've dabbled before, but I did the full program this morning, and I am like flying. Real quick, just a specific example, because three of my girlfriends who are in their 30s, I'm 42, but they're young, vibrant girls, dealing with various stresses in their life, have all three diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and scared into believing that their joints and everything are going to be gnarled and they're going to look like an old person. So these doctors are putting them on really gnarly medication. Then I have other people that I know that are, healthy men in their 50s getting diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. It's like left and right. What do you know? What have you seen in the research? What have you seen in your work? The real cause of rheumatoid arthritis and how quickly, or have you seen it shift in with this Wim Hof method?
Oh, well, within 1 day. Within 1 day, you learn to effectively bring down the cause of rheumatoid arthritis, which is inflammation, interleukins, cytokine storm. And we bring it down through the breathing and the cold. And all the doctors were saying, oh, the cold is not good for rheumatoid arthritis. It is really not good for the rheumatoid arthritis because it's going to go away. And they did not know this, but this is even in the severe rheumatoid arthritis, your cartilage goes away at a certain moment. And doctors say that it's irreparable. It doesn't come back. It comes back. Oof. It comes back. So not only does it prevent rheumatoid arthritis through bringing down the cause and effect of it, which is inflammation, cytokine storm, it brings it effectively down. So girls, friends of Kelly, take it on. Go into the cold. Go take these damn good cold showers because they are the best kind of skincare you can ever meet. That is cold water. It drains all the capillaries of the skin. It's amazing what it does with your skin. You're going to be very motivated. You're going to look good and you're going to feel good. And the arthritis is going to go with 2 little suitcases out of your body. It doesn't like to be there anymore. So just do it. We have shown in the university to bring down the inflammation effectively within a quarter of an hour through the specific breathing techniques we teach. And it's very simple. You can look it up. This is for free. Just go for it and get your rheumatoid arthritis out of there. Simple.
Yes, simple. I love it so much. And there's so many great breathing exercises in the book. One that I will certainly need to tap into at some point is the hangover breathing exercise, because I do love that red wine a little too much.
Intoxication.
Yeah.
Intoxication. So then you see what is the body when it is intoxicated, it gets sick. Logical. Now you do the breathing within 20 minutes, you are able to get a hangover having a hangover. It's over.
Over.
Doesn't hang anymore. It's done. He's having a hangover. He's getting out.
I love
it.
That
only for that, the book is already valuable just for that exercise.
Yes. There's a pain exercise to get rid of pain, performance to enhance your performance,
yes.
Stress, anxiety. I mean, just the breathing exercises alone, like you said, are worth it. And so you just some of these things you've summited Kilimanjaro and Mount Everest and wearing barely any clothes, and you've taken other people into the most extreme conditions, and just like the Michelle guy in the wind at your Poland retreat, it just cuts right through you. I'm very powerful of mind. I went through a natural birth. I did the whole thing. I feel like but I don't know that I could do that. I don't know that I could do what you do. I don't know that I'd survive a retreat. How do you, do people break
Women
down?
are so strong.
Yeah. Like what?
Yes.
Can we all do this? Can we all do what you do?
You guys gotta embody your strength, the real strength you guys have. If you put men through what women undergo, they are like pussies. They are like nothing. They they will cry. They will break because they haven't got the psyche women have. Women are just amazing. So last time I climbed Kilimanjaro, the oldest person was 76 years old. He had no experience in mountaineering. And where this mountain is only climbed within 5 to 9 days, and then 40% summit, fully dressed because it's very cold up there. This man, 76 years old, suffering from Lyme's disease, climbed to Kilimanjaro in shorts in 31 hours. That is motivation. That is the power of our mind. If we put our minds towards something, let me tell you, then you become invisible. Only invest in that invisibility. Because everybody was talking about the unlimited power of the mind. And then it's just words. But we have seen it. We have seen it with the most impossible kinds of diseases going away. Just because the people put their mind to it and believe uninhibited. And then you are able to bring your subconscious purposes fully to the surface, realize them, manifest why you are here, and become a very happy, deeply happy person. And that then you will radiate like a king, a true king, a true queen.
I'm in. Sign me up. I'm committed. So one last question.
You are there. I can tell.
Thank you.
Stay there.
I will. Dr. Lissa Eppels, in your book, she was doing a prestigious study at UCSF on hormetic stress and mental health. Is there any updates there since writing the book, or
yes,
is it still going?
The results are coming because of coronavirus. It was all arrested. All studies were arrested. So, but it is coming next week or in 2 weeks. And it is promising amazing results.
Amazing. And then have they done anything with your blood and COVID, the SARS-CoV-2 virus? Have they done anything with your method and that? Because I think they should study.
What I can tell is this. I told the university, they have my blood frozen at minus 80 Celsius, which is very cold. This is the way blood is being held in university hospitals. Just expose COVID to my blood you guys have. And you will see there will be 0% reaction. What normally activates a very violent reaction caused by the SARS virus, the COVID virus. It will cause a violent reaction upon the immune cells. In my case, nothing. And why? Because in 2014, I already showed that the interleukin number 1, number 6, number 8, and number 17, which are the damaging factor in SARS-CoV-19, we successfully brought it down through breathing exercises. Wow. But in COVID, in the case of pneumatic edema, it's breathing. We are talking about breathing. If you let it go, then you cannot breathe. You can hardly breathe. But in the beginning, when the inflammation, these inflammatory markers start, you are very able to bring them down through breathing exercises. Amazing. That is one. And then the cold also has a direct, great effect on suppressing the COVID-19. And they did studies in New York on people with terminal COVID, and they brought them back by controlled hypothermia. Controlled hypothermia for 2 days, just a couple of degrees down, but controlled. That the virus doesn't like it, so then it goes out of the body.
Wow.
Simple as it is. The nature, Kelly, what it is for any disease, nature has an answer. But we have to go into nature, and which is our inner nature. And we lost the control there because we live too much with extension tools in the comfort zone behavior ruled by our thoughts. When we get near to cold water, oh, that's cold. Oh, I'm not going to do that. That is thought, you know. We don't know that we actually have been driven away from our core, deep stimulative exercising, which our body is built to undergo since millions of years. Since that we are in industrialization, we made it ourselves so easy, but we weakened our bodies, our physiology. We destimulated it, and now we found a way to reactivate it into the from the depth to our will, and become once again the alchemists over our body, the masters of our mind, and the captains of our soul. Yes.
I love it. Oh my gosh, what an honor. Thank you for coming on. And I agree, conscious alchemy through the Wim Hof Method is the key. I am totally on board, and I encourage anyone who's inspired to pick up the book. Where else? And the app, the free app. We can listen to you guiding us through the breathing work, the breath work. Where else can we find you, to find out your programs and retreats that you offer?
Yes, the Wim Hof, that's my name. And then put method, WimHofMethod.com. There you find all the studies, I say, just be happy, strong, and healthy, and the rest is bullshit. So when you feel bullshit, get back to your happiness, get back to your strength, and get back to your health, which is the control over the hormonal system, the immune system, and the energy systems in our body. And we have shown beyond speculation how to get there. Very simple, very accessible, and very powerful. We hand it over because we love you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Generous heart and this amazing work you're doing. And thank you again for coming on. Thank you for listening to the Heal Podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. Oh, and make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. And if you feel inspired, we would love you to rate and review us so that we have the opportunity to reach more people. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram for some behind-the-scenes fun and more inspiration at @HealDocumentary and @KellyGorris. Thank you so much, and be well.